Hi everyone, Future Justin here. We are doing a mailbag episode in early May, so if you'd like to write into the show and have us read your question or multiple questions, then you can go to tinyurl.com/rwmailbag and put in your questions there. We are asking that everyone have them in by May 4th so that we have time to collate all of them. I'm also going to add the link to our link tree, which you can get to in the show description. There's a little link you can click there in case you forget the URL, which is tinyurl.com/rwmailbag. Anyway, back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Warriors episode 562. Woo! As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by Viable Human, Chris Saturn.
Hello, Justin.
Hi, Saturn.
Hi.
How do?
All right. Well, that's the show. We'll see you guys next week.
Every now and then I just want to be awkward. I have this urge to be as awkward as possible.
As opposed to all the rest of the time where you're naturally awkward.
Right, that's on accident. That's just how it is. But sometimes I really want to drive it home. No housekeeping this week. Things are currently smooth sailing. Join us in the Matrix to chat if you want to come hang out with us.
I was explaining Matrix to a guy at work. We got a new guy on night shift, and he is also trying to flee Discord. Mm-hmm. He can't yet convince the rest of his friend group to do it. I told him the solution is just do it anyway and force them to follow you.
Yeah, I've done that several times now with all of you guys. It's worked great.
Yep.
I can't remember. There was something a while back where Guy was like, that's too much. Like there was a moment where he's like, yeah, it's too much. Stop it. Like, I don't remember what it was or what the platform was or what. I have no idea, but he was like, I've followed you enough. Stop it. Just stay here.
I think it was when we were talking about potentially leaving Signal for something.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. And he was like, no, we did. This is enough. It's enough.
Yep.
Stop it. It's gotten to the point where I don't even really think about Discord or like, because there's that transition period where you're like, this is different than Discord in these ways. And that's annoying. It's gotten to the point where Matrix just it's just normal to me now. I don't even really think about it. It's just where the chat is and I go and I do the chat and, you know, sometimes things are weird or whatever, but I'm like, that's just what the platform is, and I move on with my life, you know. So that's.
Yeah, I use the Matrix all the time now, and I still have Discord installed, but I don't open it. But I do have it on my phone, so I get notifications when friends message me on there, because I do have a few friends that are not going to leave it no matter what. So
I currently still have an account. I decided I would keep it until they ever ask me for any more information because there's exactly one server I get news from there.
But if they server.
Yeah, it is. If they ask me to confirm anything else ever, even like reconfirm an email address, I'm done. That's it. It's
same.
I'm over it. But yeah. Yeah, and really I may even abandon that idea and just close it all together. But there are some things there that I can't get elsewhere, unfortunately.
I have some friends that I can talk to there that don't have any other... I dragged them kicking and screaming to Discord when they wanted me to stay on Facebook Messenger.
Oh,
And I was like, I'm not doing Facebook Messenger. And now that I'm leaving Discord, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to convince them to go anywhere else. This is as far as I can bring them, so I got to stay here as long as I can.
There have been times in my life where I've been like, I'm doing this thing, and they're like, I'm not going with you, and I'm like, see ya. And it just kind of was what it was, you know. But it sucks, man. It's like it's one of those things where you're like, on the one hand, I understand the fatigue.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, it's like, you know. I don't want to be here wherever here is, you know. So it's.
So anyway, that was our not housekeeping this week.
That was our no housekeeping. It's when we have housekeeping, it takes forever. I've been playing games. Played a little more Trails of Cold Steel 2. Very slow. I've decided to quit using a guide. I'm just gonna fucking miss stuff, and I don't care. And I'm having so much more fun actually playing the game rather than reading about how to play the game and then executing it the exact same way that it tells me to do it. Infinitely more fun to just play the video game. So that's
true, yes.
That's been very nice. Been enjoying that. I also was like, I've got so much free time. that I need to play an MMO, right? Because that's...
Of course, yeah.
And it's not even winter, so this is rare for me. I didn't realize that ArenaNet re-released Guild Wars as Guild Wars Reforged, and it is Steam Deck verified and has full controller support. For people that don't remember Guild Wars was like a early to mid aughts. I want to say it was like between 03 and 05, somewhere like that. Non-MMO, MMO. So like when you're in town, it is an MMO and you see everyone. But when you leave town, everything is instanced. So you can show up with your party, but otherwise you won't see other players at all outside of the non-combat community areas. And so at the time, it was one of those things where it's like, it is and isn't an MMO. It's sort of, but their big claim to fame was no subscription fees, which they have maintained to today. And Guild Wars Reforged is not really a remaster. It's more like they just updated the old game to have some new graphical effects and full controller support. So that also means the entire install is like 5 gigs. It updates crazy fast and it runs at a full 120 FPS on Steam Deck. And there's no account set up. It just uses your Steam account. You can still use your ArenaNet account if you have one. So it ended up just being a really easy MMO to play on deck. I'm not having to like type in, annoying passwords with the soft keyboard or use weird controls or anything. It's just supported. There's no subscription and it just kind of fucking works. And so it was like $12 too. And so I got me a copy and then I bought Andrew a copy because I have something to play with. And it's been really fun getting to really kind of... Because like when it came out, I was just a little bit too young to really get the complexity of like an MMO-style combat system.
Yeah.
Because I was like 14, 15, where it's like, yeah, I mean, I kind of see what it is, but I don't understand notions of like the meta game and gear treadmills and stuff like that. Like I could play it and it'd be fine, but I wasn't really going to get anywhere meaningful.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to get to return to it in that regard. Also, just... It's just a really accessible experience. Like it's almost by accident that it has happened because with no sign-in, with tiny installs, tiny updates, a low price, running on basically a potato, also teamed up with the actual design of the game, which Guild Wars was like one of those games where you go to town and you can reallocate all of your attribute points whenever you want. So you can very much just sort of be like, hey, I want to be like an aggressive axe build now. All right, I'm going to go back to town, and now I'm all about like sword and shield and defensive postures and all this kind of stuff. Nice. And it's just been super accessible. It's been very nice.
Nice.
I'm not very far yet. There's only 20 levels, so the levels are very slow. Nice. I'm level 6 right now. I'm playing a warrior necromancer because you got to do a subclass or sub job or whatever they call it. And it's been a really good time. Nice. I'm on the for people that know the game, the Pantheons campaign. There's 3 campaigns in the game, and so I'm on Pantheon, which is the kind of what I understand to be the traditional starting point. And it's fun. It's not the most like exciting design in the world, but it's just a really easily accessible, fast MMO. Like earlier, I was in an instanced quest. Playing with AI party members because you can just hire henchmen whenever you want. And I had my game timed out, or my Steam Deck went to sleep. I had set it down to go outside and help with something. I came back in and I got to sleep. And I was like, oh shit, I was in the middle of that like 30-minute long instanced quest. Like it's like a story segment. And I turned it back on and it was like disconnected. And I'm like, shit. And he goes, do you want to reconnect? And I was like, yes. And it just put me right back in the middle of the instanced quest I was doing.
Nice.
With my full party. And I was like, okay, this is nice. This is like the most handheld friendly MMO I've ever played. And I've played all the big ones handheld on a Steam Deck. So it's really good. Yeah, anyone that's like, I just want like a quick accessible MMO that works handheld on Steam Deck, it's fucking great. I've had a lot of fun with it.
Nice. Also,
I went with my brother and saw the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
How is that?
I talked about it a bit on the upcoming Talking Wizards, but my assessment has out of the gate and has remained, it is definitively a worse movie than the first one. as far as like having a plot and characters that make sense and scenes transitioning into one another in a way that is coherent, you know. But it is a dramatically more fun movie if you just want to get hit in the face with Nintendo references nonstop all the time and little visual and audio Easter eggs.
I do like that.
So I was kind of torn on it, where I'm like, this movie makes no fucking sense, but it's so fun. Like, as just a person that grew up with Nintendo stuff, there's so many little Easter eggs, cool cameos. I think I described it on Talking Wizards as every single scene is just a framing device for Mario characters to do karate in front of explosions.
Nice.
That's literally all anything is. It makes no fucking sense.
Nice.
But if you're a Nintendo fan, it's definitely fun. At least for one watch. Even like it's not a bad. I don't. It's hard because it is a bad movie, right? It's not a good film. Like I'm coming out of it, I'm like that fucking plot was full of holes. It made no sense. It made no sense. It didn't follow its own in-world rules a lot of the time. It was just bizarre. But I had a good time. I enjoyed watching it. I'll say that. That's my assessment. I enjoyed watching it. Nice. I don't recommend it as the critical film of the year, but it was very fun to watch. And I think anyone that's a Nintendo fan will enjoy watching it.
That's fair.
Also, had Bowser Jr., and I like Bowser Jr., and he was in a lot of it. I was worried he would just be a side character, but no, he's in a pretty good chunk of it. Also, I'm just repeating everything from Talking Wizards, so everyone's going to hear this in a week again. Sorry. Chris Pratt became 1,000 times more Italian between the first and second film.
Oh.
He actually does a voice, does a performance.
Weird.
It's decent. It's decent, too. So you kind of forget that it's Chris Pratt, which is
nice.
The best thing that could happen for the movie. Anyway, what have you been doing?
So I got my copy of Little Nemo and the Guardians of Slumberland.
Oh boy!
Which I had backed on the Kickstarter. So there were two different Little Nemo game Kickstarters over the last couple of years.
Weird.
And the only reason I know that is because when the second one was announced, I was like, I thought I already backed that. And then I backed it. And then I started getting emails from both of them. Like, oh, I did. And this is the one I was more interested in. It's a much cuter and more cartoony game. And it plays like a search action game.
Yeah, see, this one is very, very like pastel, cartoony. Yeah.
And whereas the other one has an art style that is closer to the old comic strips from the early 20th century.
All right.
And is more of an action platformer, I believe. I'll be honest, I haven't really been paying attention to their Kickstarter updates. I'll play it when I can play it. That's when I will find out what it is. Anyway, but this one is more the search action-y game. And I'm enjoying it so far. The second boss kicked my ass for like 2 days straight. But otherwise, it's not been all that big of a challenge. It's been more fun than a challenge. I do really like how they do their health system. So you have 3 hit points, and you can collect these little moons everywhere. Mm-hmm. And if you've got a little moon gauge, and if you fully fill up your moon gauge, it fully restores your health. But if you're already healed and you fill up your moon gauge, you get a little message that says rank up, and you can rank up twice. Mm-hmm. And I thought that made you stronger or something. No, it makes the enemy stronger. So if you keep collecting moons after you're fully healed, the enemies get more powerful. But if you don't want the enemies to get more powerful, all you have to do is either take damage or hit the moons with your yo-yo, and they'll burst into candy like a piñata, and you can just collect candy instead of the moon. Which I think is a great way to let you kind of decide how difficult you want the game to be at any given point.
Right.
So it's a neat little way that they do that there. I am enjoying it so far. I'm actually enjoying it more than I thought I would. But it's a very cute game, and I've been pretty happy with the pacing and the gameplay of it. So I recommend it so far.
Nice.
Other than that, just chipping away at Dragon Quest VII. I'm nearly at the end now.
I want to start it so bad. I'm terrified if I take Cold Steel out of my PlayStation, it'll never go back in. I'm so scared of that.
I think my only real complaint about it is it's way too easy. Even compared to other recent Dragon Quest releases, it feels kind of laughably easy. The only challenge to it is there's these special versions of enemies in a lot of the maps that are like a darkened version, the vicious variation of the enemy, and you can fight exactly one of it, and it's much more powerful than regular enemies in that area. But even those are not too difficult to level up to get past. Also, unlike every other Dragon Quest game, you no longer have individual inventories for characters. You just have one communal inventory. Mm-hmm. So if you've collected a shitload of herbs, all of your characters can use all of them all of the time.
Does take a little bit of tactics out,
It takes a lot of the challenge away. The one thing I like about it is there's that item in a lot of the Dragon Quest games that's called a diamond in the recent translations that will save you if you're hit with an instant death spell. And since you don't have individualized inventories, if you just have 20 of them in the bag, that's going to save you 20 times. And that's pretty great. So,
I wonder if they made it so easy because it's such a long entry that they're like, we really want people to be able to get through it and experience. Because I mean, of all the Dragon Quests, I suspect this is probably one of the most abandoned.
Possibly, because it is just due to the lengthy game. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also wondering how I'm going to find it because I'm notoriously bad at JRPGs, and I wonder if I'll find it to be difficult or not.
I doubt it. The game has so many ways to make itself easier, and I've been playing on medium.
Yeah.
If you put it to easy, I don't think you can die. I think it just keeps you alive at 1 HP.
Yeah. Can you change it dynamically? Like, can you start on harder difficulty and then
anytime.
drop it down or move it up? Okay. Well, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. So you maybe bump it up a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I have a couple of times that I've bumped it back to medium just because the hard mode doesn't seem to really do anything except for force you to grind a little bit more.
Oh, just bigger HP totals and stuff.
Yeah, and not even that. It's just, you just have to wait longer until you get to the next experience level.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just I think there is you can make the enemies more aggressive. And I don't know exactly what that does because I didn't notice any real difference between any of the difficulty levels of that. But it does have several different dynamic difficulty sliders. I just even at the hardest difficulty, it still feels a lot easier than most Dragon Quest games.
Huh. Interesting.
Which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not upset about it. Dragon Quest is not the series I come to for challenge.
Exactly.
At all, which probably flies in the face of the earlier games. But I guess even then, in the context of their day, they weren't particularly the hardest.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There was always something you could grind past if you needed to.
For sure.
I did notice when I was playing it yesterday that and I'm sure it's an accurate recreation of a dungeon from the PS1 original. It's just that I didn't have an in-game map that I could look at to tell, but one of the rooms in one of the dungeons is a cock and balls.
It's nice to know that it made the cut.
I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with people.
Everyone keep an eye out for the cock and balls dungeon in Dragon Quest VII.
It's the Dig Site Underground Level 3. When you get there, just look at your map. It's cock and balls.
Cock and balls. Let's do the news.
Okay.
First up, Dolphin has added support for the Game Boy player. Also added a VR port of Dolphin, which has been announced. So this is all very exciting. Dolphin continues to be one of the premier emulators in the space. It supports so much.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I thought they already had GB player support, but I guess it was the
they had the link cable support previously.
Yeah, for the GBA link cable. You sent me the picture of the cock and balls dungeon. It is a cock and balls.
It's a cock and balls.
Absolutely a cock and balls.
Yeah.
GOG and Capcom have released their ports of Capcom's classic Windows 98 games. Resident Evil 1 through 3, Breath of Fire 4 on Steam, now featuring invasive DRM. If you fucking want that, why?
And they won't even launch on Linux because of the DRM.
What a fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
It was already on GOG. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off with this.
Yeah.
Taito.
What's sad is if you look at the Steam ports of it, if you go to the store page, it says that the developer of the game is GOG.com because GOG is who did the port.
Right.
But now they're being attached to this horrible DRM that Capcom crammed
If I were
in there.
them, I would just ask to have my name taken off that.
Right?
That's not
Seriously.
good. Taito is offering a 100,000 yen, which is about $630 bounty for leads leading to anything about the surviving units of the first ever claw machine, the Taito Crown 602. No results yet, but they did find the second claw machine, the 603. Why they started at 602, we'll never know.
Don't know. I think there was something called Taito Crown 600 and 601, but they weren't claw machines.
Yeah. So it was neat to see the second model. It was in pretty poor shape, but imagine it would be. So
right. And they have some pictures of the first one that you can look at, but they're trying to find a living unit.
Indie.io has announced Indie Pass, an indie game pass for $6.99 that features 70 titles at launch.
Which is neat.
I've not looked at what any of the titles are.
I didn't either yet. I need to.
Let's see. I see Symphony of War. I see Koromon. I see Dark Deity. I see other stuff I recognize. Don't know any of these. Cat Cafe Manager. There you go.
Perfect.
There you go. Piranha Games, makers of MechWarrior 5, have laid off 30% of its staff, which is upsetting. I'm guessing that MechWarrior 5 Clans did not do as well as they hoped, even though I really enjoyed it and really enjoy MechWarrior 5 in general. So that sucks. I kind of wonder if they're just sort of done with MechWarrior 5 and its spin-offs and are just sort of like going down to Skeleton Crew for maintenance while they figure out what they want to do next. But I think
they said there's still one more DLC coming, that it's still in development.
They've had there's been a shitload of DLCs, like 12. Yeah. Granted, they've all been pretty good, but it's definitely one of those games you only ever want to buy on sale unless you want to spend $700 on the game and all DLC. Because some of the DLC I would rate as absolutely essential to enjoying vanilla MechWarrior 5. Clans is kind of their standalone story-driven game that's pretty fun. Yeah. I enjoyed that one quite a bit, but I also like Clan mechs in general because that's what I like. The Lenovo Legion Go 2 has had an increase in price. Up $650. So $2,000 for the high-end model. I think the highest-end model is $2,000. Yeah. There are some that are a little bit lower than that. Right. So credit where credit's due. They're not all $2,000 and up. That's not the base, but it is the premium model.
Yeah.
That's crazy money. That's bananas money. That's nuts.
It's disgusting.
I mean, my God.
Yeah, go get a computer.
You know what? You might not be able to for 2K for much longer at all. Yeah. Or
pre-builds are still relatively accessibly priced comparatively. Because I was helping a guy at work the other day try to find a pre-built gaming computer, and we found some at Micro Center for about $1,300 that have basically the same specs that I have in my desktop right now. So it's not the worst.
Norman Crusoe, also known as the gaming historian, is officially retiring. He had previously kind of stopped uploading videos regularly and said he was going part-time and kind of on-demand and turning gaming historian into sort of more of a hobby. But this was him officially announcing that he's retiring the gaming historian. And as a final act, he uploaded a ton of scanned court documents regarding the Universal versus Nintendo case to the Internet Archive. Which was extremely kind of him. I believe he said he was working on a video on it and had dug up all this stuff. And this is a treasure trove of information. I grabbed the torrent, but I haven't dug through it yet. It's such a bummer. Like I was already bummed out when he went part-time. But gaming historian videos are some of the highest quality content in our space that
absolutely
has ever been made.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that the powers that be and the platforms that control everything don't foster that type of content.
Right.
And instead, it seems hostile toward it.
I would still like to say that we did our Atari versus Nintendo Tetris episode like 2 weeks before he did, though. It's weird.
But although he started his research like a year before us. So,
and his is probably way more accurate.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I've always maintained that in this space, we are in an entertainment show.
Right. Yeah.
If you want history, go to the Gaming Historian. You can't now. But it's just sad to see. He did such good work. Like in an alternate universe, he would have been given a TV show to do this work on, and
he did say he's not taking any of his episodes down, so you can still go watch them.
Yeah.
And you should if you haven't. Even if you had, you go watch them anyway.
But I'll say at the very least, he got to go out on the highest of highs and step away to his personal life. I wish him all the best. It's nice to see that be the end of a channel instead of just devolving into trash content to hit algorithms and whatever. And so I have a lot of respect for someone.
He said he and his wife are still doing a history podcast.
Yeah, they do have a podcast. I forget what it's called, or I would have said what it is. But they do have a podcast. So it's just I wish him all the best. It's nice that he gets to go out on such a high with such a wonderful body of work. So
it's called an old timey podcast.
Yeah, there you go. I remember the name was very generic.
Yeah.
Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 streamer Marcel Voss has created a coaster that takes over 194 quadrseptuagentillion years to ride.
I doubt that was pronounced correctly, but I don't think anyone can correct you, so it's fine.
Some mathematician out there is fuming at me.
It should be pointed out that is more years than our universe has existed.
How did they make this?
Very meticulously.
Oh, okay, right.
No, it's utilizing a handful of programming quirks in the game as far as preventing the people from being able to leave the park before the ride is over.
So they've created a hell that is within Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 that will be eternity for these park goers.
Yeah, and as a nod to the meme, he did include the skeleton in the middle of the ride, just as a reference to Mr. Bones' Wild Ride there.
Yeah. Blockchain-based digital games marketplace Robot Cash is shutting down on May 2nd, and all customers are losing all their purchases. That's not supposed to be how the blockchain works.
Yeah, that's actually the opposite of what they pitched with the whole thing.
It is indeed the opposite. It almost seems like it was a scam.
Yeah, because originally they were like, it's going to be blockchain-based. You can sell your used games to other people on our platform. And then when they shut down the platform, it turns out it was nothing-based. It was vibes-based, and now they're just taking away all your purchases.
I want to know who fucking wished on the monkey's paw that we could actually own digital purchases, and it gave us blockchain technology, because it has the potential for us to legitimately own digital movies, digital games, and then, be transferable, but instead we get fucking crypto coin.
This.
What the fuck what is happening? Why? Only humans are smart enough and dumb enough to invent this thing and then fuck it this hard.
Yeah.
Ugh. Sequel to cult classic 428 Shibuya Scramble was successfully funded on Japanese crowdfunding platform Ubgoe. But the developers didn't receive the funds because Ubgoe claims they lost the money.
Yeah.
Would love to give you the millions of dollars we owe you. I can't find it. So
they gave them half of it. That's probably enough, right?
Is half good? Are we good? Is that good? Or
So they're suing them.
What?
Yeah. This whole situation is hilarious. The more you read into their
terrible,
ridiculous,
but hilarious.
It's tragic, but looking at their ridiculous and very bad and dumb excuses is so funny.
Yeah. Double Dragon and Kunio creator Yoshihisa Kishimoto has passed away at age 64, which is tragic. That's still pretty darn
Way
young.
Too young. I believe it was cancer.
In the realm. Oh gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So play some Kunio-kun games in his honor. So unfortunate. Dang Jack, the rights holder.
Dan Jack.
Dang Jack.
I think they're French.
The rights holder of the James Bond franchise have sued System 3 over the character of James Pond. You're a couple decades too late, guys. Does it? I mean,
you're like several decades too late now.
It kind of feels like people don't even care that much about Bond anymore, and much less.
So what happened was this company that owns the rights to James Pond just tried to renew the copyright on it so that they could start selling it again on modern game platforms.
Oh, and then they got all upset.
Mm-hmm. And they got all upset. They got all bent out of shape about it.
Well, that's stupid. LRG sent out a blanket apology email to all customers and says they're really definitely going to adhere to release dates from here on, and they're very sorry.
I'm very sorry.
I received my first limited run game by way of Trails versus Ease. They did the physical for that game.
Oh, I still haven't gotten my copy of that.
I got mine in the mail, and it was the first and hopefully last LRG game I'm going to buy. But it was the only way to get physical of it, and I got physical of all the other Trails games, and I was like, it feels silly not to get this one. Yeah. And I picked it up, and I was like, all right, let's see what this premium LRG experience is like.
It's bubble mail.
First of all, they immediately started sending me a huge amount of spam emails.
That is true. They do that.
And they put it's like all caps titles and shit.
Yeah.
And then I just got a loose bubble mailer that was about 5 times too big than it needed to be to hold the game with no extra packaging. And I'm not a huge stickler for condition, so I took it out and I was like, it's not smashed. I could hear the disc was loose in there, but
yeah.
You know.
Well, they used to send them in boxes, and they stopped because they said that got too expensive.
Right. So I like, again, not a stickler for condition, but if I received it no better or worse than any Amazon package I've ever received. So I'm kind of like, what? Yeah. Dumb. Mario Party 4 got a recompilation on PC in case you want to break some controllers. You can break them from any platform now. You plug in a PS5 controller and bust that shit trying to spin it in a circle or whatever you want. And finally, Pac-Man Tower of Druaga and Mindel Palace all added to NES Classics on NSO in case nobody owned the Namco collection already. And you need those.
Also, some real late-breaking news here. Video Game History Foundation just found an early prototype of Punch-Out that is very, very strange. I'm trying to watch the video while I'm listening to you. But yeah, it looks like it's from when they almost released Punch-Out and Zelda as black box games before they did that, and it is a prototype from that era. And it, either I miss it because I'm not listening to the video; I'm just looking at pictures.
Well,
from
I'm
it.
always watching TV while we're recording, so
naturally. But it looks like this prototype that they got has a cover sticker on it.
Oh,
like that. That's not normally how prototypes come. They normally just like a loose PCB or something. But this one looks like it has an actual cartridge with a label on it, and it's a label no one's seen before. So that's very strange.
Weird. It's like maybe it was like actually a production prototype, like the game was complete and
right.
Well, I'll have to. Oh yeah, I see that. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like the real deal. It's not even like a shitty one. Like this is
right.
Is that Glass Joe on the front?
Yeah, it's Glass Joe on the front.
All right, then.
But it doesn't say Mike Tyson, so clearly
it doesn't.
I presume it does not have Mike Tyson in the game.
I wonder if it was maybe before the Mike Tyson deal had gone through, and they're like, we might have to release it without him. So let's.
And it also looks like some of the characters still had different names, and I am not reading these. Some of these are offensive. Holy shit!
Yeah.
It includes some of the ones from the arcade version, which were already more offensive.
Sure, yes.
But at least one new one that is more offensive. That is rough.
Oof. Speaking of offensive.
Yes.
That brings us to our topic at hand.
It does this week.
Which is Hidden Turds Super Nintendo.
Yay.
Synopsis, like the kind you might find in a burning bag on your porch. I would rather find a burning bag of shit on my porch than some of these games.
Now you're playing with Super Turds.
Someone had asked us, when are you going to do another Hidden Turds? And we were like, now, let's do it now.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Why not? It's been a rough few weeks for me, and I know you've been working crazy overtime, so it's nice to do some easier episodes.
Indeed.
Scope, we haven't done one of these in 130 episodes. Oh my God. Oh my God! What do we do? Hidden Turds.
You can't just ask me immediately without letting me pull up the list.
Game Boy or something?
I think that was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, we did NES, Game Boy, and now Super NES. This is our third one.
There you go. We need to do a non-Nintendo one next.
Yeah, that's true.
This is not a list of the shittiest Super Nintendo games that were ever shit from a butt.
Yeah, it's not that.
Additionally, this is all opinion, and we don't want to attack your opinion. If you disagree, that's cool. And we are in no way saying these aren't enjoyable. We may even like some of these games.
True.
We all enjoy bad games from time to time.
Yeah, even if they're shit from a butt.
Even if they're shit from a butt.
Yes.
I actually had a really hard time with this list.
Yeah?
So I had some issues. Like, first of all, we had a lot of NES games, because by the time I was, kicking around in the 90s, they were dirt cheap. So we had a shitload of them. You'd buy them for a few bucks. And then when I became a teenager, they were even cheaper. You'd buy them for pennies.
Yeah.
And so I had a huge stack of just junk NES games. So I could talk NES turds all day long. Super Nintendo, we had a much smaller collection, and we kind of knew to look up, or at least my brother did. I was too young. He knew to look at reviews and stuff before we bought anything. So we were much more discerning by the Super Nintendo.
It's fair.
And so we didn't have a lot of turds on hand. And so
I rented a lot of turds.
Most of the turds I could think of were rentals. But also, I wanted to imagine my list was pretty hidden, but upon looking, AVG uncovered at least 2 of them. So that already makes them relatively famous in the realm of turd video games.
Yeah.
But I was still traumatized as a child by all but one of these, so I still reserve the right to complain about them. Also, some of my games are multi-platform, but I chose this as the opportunity to dunk on them regardless, because I want to bitch about some of them here. So my list is, and also my list has a theme. I themed my list. I always do this shit on these list episodes. I come up with something and I don't tell you about it. Saturn's not heard of this. My theme is licensed games.
There were a shitload of bad licensed games on the system.
All my games are licensed properties that exist outside of the video game universe.
Plenty of bad ones there.
Yeah.
I always struggle with episodes like this because I never know what is or isn't hidden. Because I'm so deep in the weeds on some of this shit where I'll be writing a list and I'm like, well, I can't choose Alfred Chicken or B.O.B. or Claymates. Those are all super common games that everybody knows about.
Nope.
And then I'll be talking to you about it later and you'll be like, what's an Alfred Chicken?
Yeah.
So
now I want to know.
It's a mediocre platformer.
It's a turd.
It is a turd, yeah. I'm not going to tell you which category turd. You have to figure that out for yourself.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, shovelware is always a thing that's going to happen. It happened back then. It happens now. A lot of people, they'll look back at these older systems and they'll just remember the Chrono Triggers and the Super Metroids and stuff. But I rented a lot of games in this era.
Yeah.
So I remember a lot of crap from this era.
Yeah.
And this is our opportunity to talk about some of that crap.
So let's go over what Saturn titled Turdminology.
I've called it that every time that we've done these episodes, and I will continue to do it every time.
Is this the first one we've officially adopted the category system, or did we adopt that before? I don't remember.
We had this before. We didn't call them categories. We just called them levels. Levels of turds.
Yes, level 1 through 3 turd. So to define what we mean by hidden turds, we have a category 1, 2, and 3 turd.
Yes.
So category 1 turd is some games are hidden for a reason. We'd all be better off if they weren't found. These are the turdiest of turds. You shouldn't play them. They suck. They're not fun, ironically. They just are bad games.
No. Yeah.
We have the category 2 turd, which is some games that look good at first and maybe even are fun for a few minutes, and then you discover the gooey turd filling.
Ugh, you don't want that. Hopefully you didn't bite into it.
Oh my God. Stop. And then the category 3 turd. Some games are known for being bad, but maybe there's some redeeming hidden quality about them that makes them a turd worth uncovering.
Yeah.
Perhaps an interesting mechanic, or cool graphics, or just something really weird.
Yeah.
So my first pick is Todd McFarlane's Spawn: the video game.
Yeah, I agree with you already.
This is a Category 2 turd developed by Ukiyote Company, makers of Metal Slug First Mission, Kirby Mass Attack, and a few other pretty notable games. Published by Acclaim, a notable turd publisher in the Super Nintendo era, and Sony Electronic Publishing.
Yeah.
And I rented this game like 10 times as a kid.
I rented it once.
I owned like 2 Spawn comics.
Mm-hmm.
And Spawn was like so cool and edgy and like awesome, and I was like, oh, Spawn's neat. And I think it was around the time the Spawn movie came out. Was that mid 90s or late 90s?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah,
that was mid to late 90s. I want to say it was like 98 when that movie came out.
So I would have been 10. So yeah, I think I might have still been renting Super Nintendo games by then. In any case, I knew about Spawn. He seemed so cool, but I went into it wanting to like the game, right? But I found it really, really difficult. And as a kid, a lot of times when you find games difficult, you just assume you're bad at it and don't get it. Yeah. And so I was like, I kept renting it to trying to figure it out. And graphically, it looks pretty cool. It's a cool looking game.
It was an impressive looking game for its time.
So as an adult going back, I can see that I'm fantastic at the game. The game is just bad at being a game.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's got floaty controls, terrible enemy patterns, useless attacks. It's just fucking stupid. It's poorly designed. The proportions of everyone's weird. The first level has this annoying helicopter light flashing back and forth. It's dumb.
See, I was either just of an age or I was just a pretentious tryhard. But I was at that age where I was like, this Spawn shit looks way too edgelord to me.
He's trying too hard, yeah.
Yeah,
you would come out the other end of that tunnel, yeah.
Yeah, I was not interested in Spawn in general, but I had a couple friends who were huge Todd McFarlane fans and huge Spawn fans, so they were into it. And so I had rented it to play with them, and I was just not at all happy with it. But they were willing to put up with it because it was Spawn.
It's so bad. The opening of the game should really be an indication of its overall quality. Spawn spawns on a ledge, and you're like standing on the edge of this building. You have to jump to the next building, and immediately upon spawning into the level, an endless stream of infinite enemies begin throwing themselves off an adjacent rooftop because they put the enemy spawn too far forward.
Oh.
So instantly you turn the game on and guys just start throwing themselves off of buildings to not have to be in this game.
Nice.
The music is bottom tier trash. The first level boss can stun lock you, and it's just kind of legitimately a nightmare to fucking play. It somehow miraculously holds a Moby score on Moby games of 6.1. Contemporary reviews hit between the 50 to 70% range. All these numbers are at least twice what they should be. I did enjoy Next Generation rightly rated it as, quote, less enjoyable than a skin rash. And I would agree with that assessment.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
The only thing I'll give it is that it looks pretty cool.
It does look all right. It's very colorful.
Fine looking game.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially as far as an Acclaim beat 'em up. It looked pretty good for that.
So this one has the gooey turd filling.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your first pick?
Too.
Yes, it is.
Thick and viscous. Anyway, my first pick is Secret of the Stars.
Oh yes, you've spoken of this. Tecmo's Secret of the Stars. I've heard.
I am rating this as both a Category 1 and a Category 3 turd.
Oh, it skips 2 entirely.
It does, because 1, it's a bad game, but 2, maybe there's something in it. Not good, but there's something in it. Anyway,
so they came close to an idea that was worth having.
Right. So this was developed by a company called Kikakusia, who I could not find anything else worthwhile that they did, and published by Tecmo in Japan in 93, in North America in 95. So in Japan they called this game Octalion, but they spelled it AQUT. That's not how. Anyway, but in North America it was sold as Tecmo Secret of the Stars: a fantasy Tecmo RPG series sold by Tecmo.
Sold by Tecmo.
Yes. Really wanted you to know that Tecmo was involved here.
They were indeed.
So a lot of people, myself included, will look back at the Super NES era as like this golden age of JRPGs.
Sure.
Because you had just a ton of great JRPGs on that system. But you also have Secret of the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a game that absolutely should have been released on the NES. And if it had been, it probably would have been fondly remembered as a, neat little forgettable RPG on the system. And I have to think that this was in development for NES. That like maybe it was like, oh shit, the Famicom market's drying up. We have to port this to Super NES. Hurry. But the thing is, in Japan, it released in 93. Famitsu gave it a 19 out of 40 in 93. We got it 2 years later, the month before Chrono Trigger.
That is
this shouldn't be.
Poor management.
Yeah, it's just such a generic, middling, mediocre 8-bit RPG that got kind of quickly upported to Super NES, at least from what it looks like.
Years too late.
Yeah, like if this... It looks like an NES game. It plays like an NES game. It sounds like an NES game. It sounds like somebody composed this for the NES sound chip, realized that they had to release on Super Nintendo, and just replaced every instrument with flute.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a real rough play. I don't recommend it. Like, I want to see somebody downport this to NES to see if there actually is a good game in there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like or to Master System or to Commodore, I don't fucking care. Just
right. In a more limited environment, it might be interesting.
Even a PC Engine port could be interesting. But as a Super NES game, man, it's rough. It is not what you want on a Super Nintendo.
Mm. Going on to Turd 2, my second pick. Mm-hmm. The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
This is a category, I wanted to call it 2, but I'm kind of leaning 2-3, maybe 2.5.
Uh-oh.
Turd.
I don't believe you.
Developed by Seta USA, makers of Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Published by Manley and Associates, which is not a law firm. It was a game development company that eventually was absorbed into EA. I'm just, like, at the time, I played it a lot. Because it was relatively easy with lots of exploration and kind of no real meaningful combat. It's bright, it's colorful, it's kid-friendly. Like, I think if someone was looking for a game for their small child to play, it wouldn't be, like, a terrible recommendation. There are millions of better games, but if they're like, oh, they can't, they can't do the running and jumping or anything, and they, I don't know. I could see it being okay for a kid. You start as Dorothy, shooting her trademark magic wand at the well-known Wizard of Oz villain, Mutant Lemons with Faces.
Yeah.
The Mutant Lemons with Faces appear prominently in the game.
Yeah. They're also all over the book.
It's just like you're in the movie. It's the same. I've read the first Oz book once or twice. I still can't figure out what the fuck they're doing here. They seem to want that, like, it's movie Dorothy. She's got the red slippers instead of the silver. It's very movie-esque, but then there's some, like, nods to the book, but then also Mutant Lemons with Faces. Mm-hmm. Eventually, you unlock Dorothy's companions to play as, and you can, like, switch between them freely, and you got to find all these tickets to the Emerald City. I've never gotten that far because it's just fucking sucks. It's just not. It's like, I don't know. It's so close to being a decent idea. Like, the actual jumping and shooting your wand is fine. It's just nothing's very compelling about it. It does feature, this is probably the most compelling part of it. It features a bunch of number and word puzzles that are like bonuses in the level that you play as Toto. And they're kind of fun. There's like some hidden messages and like just fun little word and number puzzles. The music is 10 kinds of horrible. You have a movie soundtrack that you could have just copied.
Oh, they probably could not pay for the rights to that.
I'm guessing not. But it's bad.
Ted Turner was pretty strict on licensing the movie music back then.
It's so bad. So I imagine, like, if you gave it to a deaf child that hates video games, maybe they'll enjoy the word puzzles. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. The game sucks. It's a suck game. You know, it's category 2. I'm calling it. I'm moving it down. It lost a half a point.
I almost put a Manley and Associates game on my list too.
Oh, really? Which one?
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, based on the cartoon.
Oh, yeah. That was the one where it was the football players that were transported back to King Arthur times, and they became Arthur in the Knights of the Round Table.
And
classic.
And it's the only game that NX ever published exclusively in the West.
Oh, yeah. They knew that Japan would reject that shit.
Correct.
What's your next pick? I already see the title. I don't know what the fuck this is.
This is Rex Ronan, Experimental Surgeon.
Excuse me?
It is a category 1 turd of the highest caliber.
Oh my god.
So Rex Ronan. Okay, so let me backstep a little bit before we talk Rex Ronan. We got to get some backstory here. So, are you familiar with Captain Novolin?
No.
So Captain Novolin is a game from the same developer publisher. It's this company, Sculpture Software, who made good games. They made Super Star Wars and Super NES ports of Doom and Mortal Kombat. But this company, Raya Systems. And so Captain Novolin was a game that was distributed for free to hospitals to teach children about insulin and diabetes.
All right. Noble cause.
Mm-hmm.
Noble cause.
And it did just okay enough being distributed for free in hospitals that Raya Systems was like, we got to ride this high and make another game.
Do you?
And so they made Rex Ronan, Experimental Surgeon. And it is a game that will teach you about how bad cigarettes are. And how do you do that? By playing as a surgeon who gets shrunken down to invade the body of a tobacco CEO in order to save him from all the killbots that he implanted in his own body to protect cancer cells from medical care.
What the fuck? This is like what I would hear as a legitimate conspiracy theory in 2026. Like, what is this?
It's bad is what it is. So I think it may have been rental exclusive. I'm not 100% certain on that. I only played it as a rental. So the thing is, did you ever watch Nick Arcade on Nickelodeon?
Maybe.
So Nick Arcade was a game show where kids answered bad trivia questions and then had to play TurboGrafx and Genesis games against each other. But the final round of Nick Arcade was you got to go inside of the game, but it was just like two kids in front of a green screen and they were like trying to wave at like some bad CGI that was rendered on an Amiga and hope that they could hit something. And that's what this entire game plays like. It feels like I'm a kid in a green screen desperately trying to wave at something that isn't there. That's how bad all of the controls are.
Oh, no.
This is possibly the worst Super Nintendo game.
This reminds me of that one cartoon special that it was like Bugs Bunny, Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle, one Care Bear.
Yeah, it was a CBS special. I remember this.
In like fucking Teddy Ruxpin or something. And they like taught some kid not to smoke. I rented that cartoon 50 fucking times.
God.
I thought it was insane. I was like, Bugs Bunny is talking to Michelangelo, and then they're going to go hang out with a Care Bear. What is this? Am I high? I watched it so many times.
Yeah, it's I remember that airing on TV, and I wouldn't even watch it then. But no, this is just a really bad game, and I don't recommend it. I don't even recommend playing it for ironic purposes. It's just really bad. It's bad.
Ugh.
The box art's stupid looking. I'll give it that.
It is stupid looking.
It makes
Rex Ronan's just some kid in a hat.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be his surgeon hat because he's a surgeon.
Oh. Do people normally put their full name in flames across their surgeon cap?
Yeah, I think so.
I see.
And also there's a spaceship on the cover as if the game's going to be a shmup. It's not that. Don't let it lie to you.
I see that. Rex Ronan, experimental surgeon. So stupid.
I hope Andrew can make a theme song for it.
Oh, Andrew should make a theme song for it. Everyone tell Andrew to make a theme song for Rex Ronan, experimental surgeon. He had been talking to me about wanting to do some extra content. I think we could bully him into it.
That's a good one.
My third pick is Super Godzilla. This is a Category 1 turd. This was developed by Advanced Communication Company, which someone should have advanced them a communication on how to make games.
Oh!
I was feeling very jokey when I wrote this. Makers of some other shit. This was thankfully the last time they'd be allowed to make video games.
Yeah.
After the massive disappointment that was Godzilla on NES, I thought for sure Toho would redeem themselves and have someone make a proper stompy monster video game with Godzilla. It's such an easy concept.
They did. It was on TurboGrafx.
We didn't get that. Instead...
we did. You didn't, but America did.
Instead, what we got was a game in which humans keep talking to you in broken English about Godzilla, while you move him around a map for 20 minutes, running into buildings via cutscene. It's stupid. You don't control Godzilla.
No, that's all the Godzilla action you need.
You tell Godzilla, hey, go right, and then Godzilla goes right until Godzilla runs into a building, and then the building falls down, and the cutscene takes forever. If you stick around long enough through the most boring city destruction of all time, then you're treated to a fight with another monster, and visually it gets exciting. It looks like you're going to be in a tournament fighter-style affair. You get thrown up there, King Ghidorah is put on the other side of the map, you're ready to go at each other, and you realize immediately that it's just like, it's like two school children smashing their monsters together. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but worse. Nice. You just sort of glide across the screen and bounce off of them for a while, and it fucking sucks.
I almost put a kaiju game on my list, too.
And the whole time, you're getting yelled at by humans about Godzilla. Yeah. It was the worst. And it really... So, the thing about Godzilla movies is that they're really all like genre flicks. It'll be like, oh, this is a heist movie. This is a an island adventure movie. This is a whatever, a spy movie. But then also Godzilla. That's kind of the format of Godzilla movies. It's like, oh, it's a heist movie, also Godzilla. And he fights, whoever, the smog monster or some shit.
Right.
And so it's kind of this thing where you get like a regular genre flick, and the last 20 minutes is guys in rubber suits beating the piss out of each other.
Right.
But then in like the Millennium Godzilla series, they were like, no, people really care about the human drama a lot. They care very much about the human beings in the Godzilla movie. And you're like, no. I was just watching like a B-tier genre flick, and I want the last half to be Godzilla fights. And this is very much that Millennium Godzilla vibe, where it's like, oh, you're supposed to really care about the human characters, and they're going to talk to you a whole lot, and you're going to be really invested in the dialogue. And I'm like, literally no one is invested in this dialogue. Fucking stop it. I like the only thing more disappointing to me as a child than Super Godzilla would have been if the Power Rangers and Santa Claus all died in a fiery head-on collision driving to my house to deliver a basket of kittens. It was so disappointing. I remember, even as a small child, I was like, how do you fuck this up? How do you fuck it up this? Literally, the premise is Monster smashes city, and if you really want to get fancy, Monster also fights other monster, but you don't even gotta have that. It could just be Monster smashes city, you get points, there's a timer. Done. It's done. You did it. It's done. Somehow it has a Moby score of 5.8, and reviews at the time gave it between like a 40 and 60-ish%, but, can you really put a number on a war crime? I don't think you can. It's
apparently
terrible.
You can, but that's unrelated.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I'll give you that. What's your third? Your third turd.
I almost put a kaiju game here.
Which one?
I almost put Ultraman here.
Oh yeah, Ultraman on Super Nintendo was pretty bad.
It was real bad, but it was so early in the system's release that I'm willing to give it a wash.
Yeah.
For the purpose of this episode, not overall though. Overall, it's still a shitty game,
right?
And it should feel bad. Instead, I chose Brainlord.
I've seen this game. This was Enix.
Yes, this was Enix. This was developed by Produce. Though if you ask them, it's Produce !
Oh, I see.
But no, this was a later-ish era Super NES game. This is the same developers that did Seven Saga and Mystic Arc.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I'm ranking as a category 2 turd.
Okay.
Because it could be okay until you start playing it. So I want to say good things about this game. I do.
Do you? Do you really?
I do, because it sounds stupid. Its name is stupid. It looks like butt. But there's almost some quality here. Because it's
right.
like I want to be nicer to this game.
Yes.
Because when you look for Zelda-like games on Super Nintendo, nobody mentions Brainlord.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like
it doesn't get its dues.
Yeah, kind of. Because like the first like half hour of it is like, I could see this being a good game. It's not. Don't be confused by it. When you get past that first half hour, there's nothing worthwhile. But that first half hour would be really neat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you could only play that, it's not bad.
But if you keep playing past that, you done fucked up.
I will say the reviews for it at the time were shockingly good. You saw a lot of 7s and 8s out of 10.
I'm looking at it now. I see a 7.1 Moby score. Let's see. 84% from Consoles Plus. GamePro US gave it 80. EGM 74. It's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. And it got a 30 out of 40 from Famitsu.
Damn.
So somebody must enjoy this, and maybe I'm going to be told that I'm a wrongie, but it's just kind of butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has a lot of potential. I'll give it that. I really wanted to like this game because as great as Zelda is, there's not a ton of great Zelda likes on the Super NES.
No, there's not. The Super NES has a weird genre lineup. Very great JRPGs. Oddly, not a lot of great shmups. Very few great action RPGs in the Zelda-like stuff like that. Like there's some weird holes on the platform.
Like, what's weird about the Super NES is it has some really high highs.
Oh yeah, the highs are gargantuanly high,
and then a ton of mediocrity.
Yeah.
And I feel like this kind of fits into that mediocrity area.
Yeah.
I was really on the fence while I was writing this if I wanted to make this a Cat 2 or Cat 3 turd.
It sounds like it's Cat 3.
Yeah, I think I want to give it Cat 3 in retrospect. While I was writing this, I was like, nah, this is Cat 2. No, I kind of want to give this Cat 3 because I do feel like there's something there. And I feel like if you dig through the poo, you might find something worthwhile in it.
I think in my head, the metric for what's a good Category 3 turd is like if it's a game that I was like, hey, there could be a ROM hack for this game that makes it real good. That
I
to
feel
me
like that's
is like,
where this is.
Yeah, that to me, like that's Category 3 turd. If like a decent sized ROM hack could make it good, okay, all right, Yeah.
But I do recommend that anybody who's looking for a Zelda-like on Super NES at least give it a shot because it actually is
interesting.
Playable. Yeah, it is more playable than a lot of these Zelda-likes on the platform that we got in the West.
It's weird how hard it is to do Zelda.
Yeah.
People seem to struggle with it. My fourth turd is Batman Forever.
This was a turd.
This is Category 1 turd. This was developed by Acclaim, published by Acclaim. They can take all the blame for this. It's their fault.
Yes.
As a kid...
I almost put this on my list, too.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't, because I played the shit out of this game.
Yeah.
As a kid, my entire room was Batman-themed. Curtains, bedsheets, toys, pajamas. My mom even painted a Batman mural on my wall.
Nice.
And so I was so stoked to get a copy of Batman Forever, and we played it a bunch, and we were like, is this just the worst trash ever? And the answer was yes. Yeah, and I didn't like Batman much after that. It was that bad.
It ruined Batman for you.
For people unaware, Batman Forever is a side-scrolling FMV torture simulator that wants to be Mortal Kombat, but hasn't figured out how to be half as good as Vigilante yet. They even have the white Mortal Kombat blood, and Batman does fucking Mortal Kombat uppercuts.
Yeah.
Straight up, like, crouching in, like, full Mortal Kombat uppercut. This is not a thing Batman does.
Yeah, this is, and keep in mind, Acclaim was also publishing Mortal Kombat at the time.
Yeah.
over here.
I mean, I get why they would want to ape that.
Oh, yeah.
There's even a block button, you know?
Yeah.
Batman, known for his extensive blocking.
Yeah. It's a shame because Batman Returns was really good on Super NES.
Yeah. All the characters look fucking stupid. You have to use select and up to use the grappling hook to go up floors. I remember sitting there for, ever. Me and my brother trying to figure out how the fuck to go up a floor.
Yeah.
And the issue is, imagine, select and up. So it requires you to either break your grip and put both hands on the left side of the controller or have a third hand. And I'm pretty sure the Robin that they got, the costume they got for the guy playing Robin in the game, was from a Halloween store. I put a screenshot in here. Batman looks like, okay, this is identifiably Batman Forever era Batman. This is fucking cartoon Robin, like 60s Robin. He doesn't belong here. Why is he here?
I assume that, my guess is whoever at Acclaim that got the rights to the game weren't yet given any actual stills from the movie.
It's so bad. It's so bad. The Batman looks right. Why does Robin look so wrong?
I watched a documentary recently about the making of the Terminator 2 games from this era, and they were not given any information at all from the director of the movie, from anyone who worked on the film. They were just like, make a game. They're like, well, what should the story be? We'll send you a script someday.
Yeah, you'll figure it
out.
And
I imagine that's a lot of what happened here, too.
My brother and I wanted to like this game so fucking bad. I mean, we loved the dumbass movie and Batman was cool. Instead, we got birthday party Robin beating up Phil and Jake.
Yeah.
All the names are stupid. In this screenshot, he's beating up Sugar and Pearson. And they're all just dudes in shitty costumes. This game fucking blows ass. They put it on Game Boy and Genesis.
The dark mode plugin I have for my Google Docs is inverting that image too, so I get to see the inverse version of it.
Oh God, you're gonna want to turn it off from my last game.
I can't figure out how to turn that off.
Oh no. What's your fourth pick? And then I'm gonna let you go first on 5 because I want to end the show with my fifth pick.
So I'm gonna go with Spider-Man and the X-Men and Arcade's Revenge.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I fucking love this terrible game.
Oh no.
It's such a bad game, but I fucking love this terrible game. Anyway, so it was developed by Software Creations, who also did Solstice and Plonk. Who
classic Plonk.
I do love Solstice. I don't love.
This is
Plonk.
not a good-looking Super Nintendo game.
No, it's not. It's an early Super Nintendo game.
This looks like a DOS game.
Kinda. So it's published by LJN, who are known for quality.
Right.
Who were owned by Acclaim at the time, who are also known for quality. So it's just kind of a mediocre platformer. I was so into the X-Men in '92. I was a huge X-Men fan. And so I was willing to put up with this game's bad gameplay and bad graphics. The music's pretty good, though. The music is actually pretty solid. The music has the same kind of vibes as like the 70s Spider-Man TV show, where it's like that goofy, just goofy. It's like goofy 70s TV kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Each character plays differently. You have to play the initial Spider-Man level where you do classic Spider-Man action of disabling bombs.
Classic.
In every Spider-Man level, you have to disable bombs.
Right, bombs were a constant thorn in his side.
It was a thing that Spider-Man had to do. All of Storm's levels are underwater.
Oh.
So you have
Storm, known for always being submerged in water.
Right, always underwater. So you have to constantly find air when you play as Storm. And Gambit's levels are auto-scrollers where you're running from a giant spike ball.
Why does this sound like it's a Justice League game that they slapped Marvel characters into? Because it sounds like Batman defusing bombs and Aquaman underwater and the Flash running from things.
I'm trying to remember what Cyclops' thing was. I think his gimmick was just being really bad at platforming.
Room full of funhouse mirrors.
No, that was Wolverine.
Oh, God.
His was the clown levels.
Oh, no. Why would they put the coolest character in clown levels?
Yeah, and also anytime that he pulled his claws out, he would slowly drain health.
Yeah, they did that on the NES game too.
Yep.
Why?
Well,
Just let him have his fucking
developer.
claws.
So, yeah, it's not a good game. It controls awkwardly. It looks kind of like poop, but I love it. I fucking love this terrible game.
The Game Boy game looks almost as good as the Super Nintendo game.
Yeah, all the ports of it were bad. And the ports came out like a year or two afterwards, too. Both the Game Boy and the Genesis ports were a little while after the Super NES release. But it was not a great game, but I still go back and play it sometimes. It's just so bad.
All right, hit me with your fifth turd, and then I'll close this out with mine.
All right. So I'm going to do Eek the Cat.
I've heard you complain about Eek the Cat before.
Yeah, I love this cartoon, first of all. I love this fucking cartoon. I don't know why. It's not a good cartoon, but kid me fucking loved this show. I thought it was the best fucking cartoon on Saturday mornings. And I was so upset that there would only be new episodes like once every 4 weeks. But I was a huge fan. And then like after the cartoon ended is when this game came out, and it was a rental exclusive.
Oh no.
So I rented it. And it's bad. So it's Cat 1 Turd. It's a bad game. I learned many, many years later that that's actually just a rebranded version of an Amiga game called Sleepwalker.
Oh.
Which I have never heard of this Amiga game, which makes sense because it didn't come out over here.
Yeah.
And it was generally received poorly over here. The Amiga original was apparently pretty well received. So maybe I need to go check that version out, or maybe I'm just too dumb and American to understand it. I don't know, but it's bad. It's a real bad game. Shouldn't play it. It has nothing to do with the cartoon, which makes sense now that I know that it's not even based on the cartoon. It's just an Amiga
is it so
game.
fucking dark?
It's just poor port job of the Super NES.
It's just, I'm looking at the screenshots of it, and it's like, it looks like there's a day to night, like, you know, like when they used to film daytime and put the fucking thing over the lens so it looked like nighttime. It looks like that for this whole game.
No, it's just a bad rush port job. That's why.
Oh, no. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. I was trying to see what that...
It might just be weird pictures you're looking at.
I was thinking it must be that. It must be that. Console Mania gave it 83%.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Yeah. This is not in English. I was going to read the review, but I cannot read this language, so unfortunately. All right. I'm going to close this out on my fifth pick. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
My fifth pick is Steven Seagal is the final option.
Yeah.
This is a category 0 turd.
Yeah.
This is a turd
it never came out, so
this is a turd so bad it never even got to exist.
Yeah.
So let me explain how I ended up playing this game. This is developed by Tech Magic. And so because I had a trouble coming up with good turds, I came up with a few that I knew, the four that I have already on the list. And I'm not a massive SNES fan to begin with. I just, so I was just kind of like scrolling games on my archive, and I see Steven Seagal is the final option. And I was like, this is a fucking joke. And so I had no memory of it ever existing, and I love garbage, so I was stoked for Steven Seagal. And so just briefly for the youngs, Steven Seagal was an action movie star for all of 20 seconds in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, no. It was way more than 20 seconds. It was like 10 years that he was actually making money.
Look.
My mom fucking loved his movies. She made me go to all of his movies for a while there.
He was known for weapons-grade bullshido, which he continues to practice to this day.
He's also a part-time unofficial ambassador to Russia.
He stopped being a star pretty quickly, but he never stopped making movies. He still makes movies.
Yeah.
His first 2 or 3 movies were pretty well received. The rest, they just kept fucking making them. They were not well received after that.
No.
What I didn't realize...
He kept making money.
True. I mean, I don't know fucking how. I don't know how.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize was the title of the game was long enough that it was cut off by the end of the file name. The end of the file name being prototype in parentheses.
Right. Yeah.
So I spent the better part of an hour trying to figure out how to progress through one of the worst first stages in one of the worst games that never existed.
Yeah.
But you can't get to the second level. This game makes Batman Forever look like a visual masterpiece. It plays like sun-baked dog shit. Seagal has his signature dump maneuver, which is when he sticks his leg out behind someone and pushes him over it, and apparently it's some kind of amazing Aikido trick to fucking trip someone. But I'm like walking around tripping guys, but if you press R, he just takes out a fucking handgun and starts shooting people. There's no ammo. There's no point in not using the gun. And there's another button for a knife.
Nice.
So NintendoPlayer.com actually recovered this prototype, and they have a wonderful write-up on the ridiculousness that was the development of this game. I encourage everyone to go read at NintendoPlayer.com. The short version is Seagal was paid for the game, but refused to be involved in the game. And TechMagic couldn't afford to pay for him to do motion capture, so they got a stunt double to be Steven Seagal in Steven Seagal as the final option. So Steven Seagal wasn't even the first option, much less the final option. But the stunt double, who Nintendo Player interviewed, says that Seagal told him he never approved the project at all. It was totally unapproved. No money changed hands. So someone is lying here about why this game ever existed. TechMagic insists that there was a truly licensed project that was being made. But Seagal himself says that it was not. But also the stunt double that was talking about it was also talking about how excellent of a martial arts master Steven Seagal was. So I kind of don't trust him. This is Steven Seagal, the man who not that many years ago made a movie where he did Aikido from a rolling chair so he didn't have to get up.
So there's a lot of information about the game out there too, because it was like previewed in magazines.
Yeah. I mean in the game you can go through a few more areas with level select. It's like a lot of this was completed.
Yeah. And I think that there was an actual deal with Seagal. I just don't believe that he either knew about it because he was out of his mind his entire life, or he has forgotten about it, or his agent just approved it and he didn't know or care. Nintendo Player interviewed, I think it was it the composer? I don't remember. Someone that worked on the project, and they're like, no, Seagal approved it. And I think it really, like you're saying, was a thing where it was like, hey, do you want to make a video game? And he's like, and then he went on about his fucking day. Right.
And it just got forgotten in the pile of things that he slapped his name on because, he'll do anything for money.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It was so bad. Have you played it?
No.
I've included some screenshots here. And what's the worst part is, first of all, it's bad motion capture. It's blurry as fuck.
Yeah.
And presumably the motion capture was like completed because they hired actors and stunt doubles and recorded it, right? So like, it's not like they're going to redo all the mocap. Like if the mocap is in the game, you've done the mocap. You're done with the mocap. Yeah. You're not going to do it again.
Right.
But what's disorienting as fuck is it's on regular 16-bit video game looking backgrounds.
Yeah.
So it straight up looks like a fake video game from like a movie where someone would be like, I'm hooked on Steven Seagal as the final option, and like that's the joke. And then they got blurry VHS rotoscope Steven Seagal slapped onto some stage from a fucking video game. Oof. It's so terrible. It's the worst. In his jump, it's like he tries to do like a running jump, but it's just like a little hop. It's so bad. Yeah. It's horrific. No one play it. It's not fun. It's not complete. It's not even a game. And when you get to the halfway point of the first level, you reach a computer and you're like, I have to interact with this computer to progress. And it says computers will provide context clues. And I tried for like 20 minutes to figure out what context clue this computer was providing before I finally looked the game up and saw that it was a prototype and I can't get to the second level. So it's possibly I was the dumb one here. Also, I just said it's possibly. So, it sucks. It's the worst. Yeah. I hate it. I hate that it exists. I'm glad it was preserved. But man, what a shit show.
Yeah.
What an utter fucking shit show. I'm glad you knew about it. I didn't know if you knew about it or not, and I didn't want to mention it on the off chance that it got to be a surprise.
No, I remember seeing it in magazines back in the day.
Oh, God. It's the worst.
Yeah, at least EGM did a preview on it.
I've seen a good amount of Steven Seagal, but nothing before maybe 2010. I'm specifically a late era Steven Seagal, not fan. Fan's not the word. What do you call it when like you can't stop watching someone you hate? It's not fan. There's got to be a word for it. There's something.
I can't speak to that.
It's too late at night.
I remember my mom took me to see Above the Law in the theater. And I only remember that because there's a bit where Steven Seagal, who is like the cop, I guess, is beating the shit out of some criminals, and he stops and says, "You think you're above the law? You aren't above me." And even as a kid, I remember turning to my mom and saying, "What does that mean?"
I would say that's the stupidest line ever, but I've seen Steven Seagal's movies.
Yeah.
So, yup. We have honorable mentions here. We never know how to end these turd episodes, but I want to throw out Clay Fighter as a Category 3 turd.
I thought, I thought that, and I was like, no, that's way too common a game. Everybody knows
It is
Clay
a pretty
Fighter.
Common game. I don't know. I feel like it's not talked about anymore. I got 2 sequels. I like Clay Fighter.
I almost added Clay Mates, which is the spinoff of Clay Fighter.
Right.
But it's less bad of a game than Clay Fighter.
I got Ninja Gaiden Trilogy here, Category 2 turd, weird controls, ugly, sounds like dog shit. This is pretty good. SNES exclusive turd.
Right. But everybody knows Ninja Gaiden
I threw Super Pitfall in here. It's multi-plat.
Isn't that an NES game?
Wasn't it Super Nintendo? What am I thinking of? What was
Pitfall?
No, I'm thinking of Mine
Pitfall
Adventure.
the Mayan Adventure. That's
that's what I'm thinking of. Which I know was on Genesis and
Everything.
it was
it was
Genesis
on like
and Super
12
Nintendo.
platforms.
Yeah. So not really Super Nintendo exclusive, but a lot of people probably played that piece of shit on Super Nintendo.
I know at least one person who enjoyed it, and that person's wrong.
I struggled because it was another one of those games where I just thought I was bad at it or something. But
same here. As a kid, I thought I was bad at it, and then I went back to it, and it was just bad.
Electronic Games gave Pitfall: The Mine Adventure on Genesis a 100.
Yeah, exactly. They're wrong.
As did GamePro US.
Yep, they're wrong.
Oh my god!
It was a popular game at the time, and they're all wrong. The main dishonorable mention I want to mention is Pit Fighter, but I think everybody knows how bad that one is. By now, which is why I didn't put it on my list. Because man, what a bad port that is.
I'll admit to being a little disappointed that I didn't get to surprise you with Steven Seagal as the final option. So I'm a little sad about that.
It is a really bad game. But that didn't happen. But
I am glad that I got to bitch about the rest of these games.
I didn't even. I can say that I've never played Steven Seagal as the final option because I knew better. So at least I now get to hear from someone who tried it.
Oh man, I thought it. I looked it up after fighting with it for 20 minutes because I was like, this is like an unlicensed joke game that like someone made as like a bit for like a Newgrounds thing or something. And come to find out that real adult human beings were making this and were like, yes, this is the game we're making. Blows
Maybe
my
if
mind.
it hadn't gotten canceled, they would have finished it, and it would have been playable.
Oh my god!
Seems unlikely.
Anyway, that's a bunch of shitty Super Nintendo games.
That's a bunch of shit that came from a butt.
There's so much better games to play on Super Nintendo that you don't need to play those. Don't play these.
True.
Don't play these. Especially
unless you like shit.
Unless if you like shitty shit that sucks and isn't fun, then there you go. You can. Then
Rex Ronan is there for you.
Yeah. And if you like shitty shit, then you can go to our Patreon.
Oh.
At patreon.com/Retro Warriors. We have all kinds of shit there. We got Talking Wizards.
Some of it's shitty shit. Some of it's good shit.
We got Read Along. We got other stuff. We got Matrix. You can hang out with us. And
you can listen to uncut episodes of our show where you hear us bullshit for a while before the episode.
Yes, you can. We want to thank the following patrons for their kind donations, starting with Alexander VG.
And Idiot Man Ass. That's what it says.
It's pronounced Dumas. Emil Rune Moeller.
Carl.
Marlo221.
Michael Castro.
Mark Schwickendie-Offmeyer.
Tomachan87.
Poncho Man Randy Savage.
Love that one. And you guys.
They all gave us money.
Yay.
And in return, we made a show about really
Poop.
shitty Super Nintendo games.
Enjoy it.
You know, we get a lot of requests for like us covering stuff that we don't like.
It's true.
And I get it. It's fun to watch someone suffer and hate something.
Yeah.
I
I feel like we have more passion when we're talking about things that we enjoy, but every now and then it's okay to vent.
Yeah, I just wanted really more than any of all the games on my list. Super Godzilla is still the most offensive.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
Yeah.
So how do you fuck it up?
at least we've got the TurboGrafx Godzilla game.
It makes up for so many crimes.
It does.
So many crimes. Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. And as always, let us cling together.